discretion is advised.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're up here in the mountains, and today I'm going to give you guys a detailed look at the Macavity Arms MA2 Sniper. This is in 25 caliber. It's producing about 45 foot-pounds. This is the production version. Now I have gotten my hands on the pre-production version. I'll go over some of the differences a little later on. For now, we'll go over some of the stats on this. We'll do some shooting with it. I'll show you guys how I was able to use it out in the field on some rabbits, and I'll give you guys my overall opinion of this gun. The overall length with the moderator of the MA2 Sniper is 45 inches, and the weight comes in at just over 6 pounds. So this is a pretty lightweight little gun. It does have Picatinny rail up on top. It does have Picatinny rail on the bottom, so you are able to mount a bipod. And it does accept AR furniture with an adjustable buttstock here. This rifle comes in at just under $500. It is boxed very well from the factory, and it does include a user's manual, spare O-rings, and a 3-year warranty card, which you're going to want to fill out as soon as possible. Now this gun does include the moderator as well as 3 10-shot rotary style magazines. And the only assembly that you're going to need to make is to the buttstock, and it does come with the wrench you're going to need for that. I do like how the pressure gauge is out front here off to the side, and they did add the Foster fill out front here, which does have a rubber dust cap. Whether or not you lose this, it looks like it could come off. Maybe if you're using the gun kind of heavily out in the field, it's possible this could pop off. I think I would like to have seen it thread on somehow. I think that would have been a little better, but as is, it is functional, and I do like having the gauge off to the side. The 22-inch barrel is fully shrouded, and it does have a barrel band, which I think is a pretty good touch in being able to keep the gun's point of impact. You're not going to have an issue with any changes, you know, from bumping it or from even transporting it in your vehicle. This gun is a side lever design. It is very nicely made, pretty nicely machined here. It's got a knurled handle, which is very comfortable to use, especially out in the field when your fingers might be kind of sweaty. It definitely feels pretty solid, and the cocking on this is very, very smooth, and I think they've done a pretty good job. Up on top you have about 6.5 inches of Picatinny rail. I found there's more than enough room to be able to slide my scope forward and back as needed to adjust for my eye relief. Just in front of the trigger guard here is your degassing screw. You can loosen this. That's going to degas the system if you need to replace an O-ring, do any kind of maintenance, any adjustments like that. You can easily degas the rifle. The MA2 does come factory tuned, but you are able to make some hammer adjustments if you want to do so. That's going to require you to remove the stock. I found the best ways to flip it upside down. It's got one screw right in front of the trigger group, and you're going to loosen that up to pull the stock off. And then towards the back of the breech block, you've got a little locking screw off to the side. And what that does is that locks your hammer spring adjustment in place, so it's not going to move around. You're going to want to loosen that up, and then counterclockwise is lowering the power, and clockwise is going to be able to raise the power. But keep in mind, the regulator is internally adjusted to about 1600 psi, and so you're really only going to be limited to that reg pressure right there, but you will be able to gain just a little bit more power out of it. Just out front of the forend is 2 inches of Picatinny rail. This is plastic construction. There is quite a bit of flexibility on here, and it's probably not the best design for using a bipod. There is far too much flex. This is definitely an area where Macavity Arms could have made a huge improvement and made the overall feel of the gun a lot better. The tube on this is 267 cc's and the regulator is set to about 1600 psi, and you're going to get roughly about 60 shots per fill. The barrel in this is 22 inches long and it's a 1 in 23 twist rate. Now this shoots the JSB 25 grains pretty well. That's pretty much what they designed this gun around. And they claim just about 880 feet per second, and the gun is definitely shooting within specs of that. So I have spent a lot of time with this gun out in the field as well as from the bench, and my biggest complaint with it is the stock. This is very bad quality, especially when you add a bipod. It has far too much flexibility in it, and it's to the extent where it's near the worst stock that I've ever seen on an air gun. And I've shot a lot of air guns. This is pretty bad. I did disclose that to them with the pre-production version. They told me they were going to make changes to it, and to my surprise, when I got the production model, it was exactly the same. Same problem, same amount of flexibility. To me, it looks like all they did was they added the regulator gauge and the upgraded moderator. The rest of the gun looks exactly the same. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. I think this is pretty unacceptable at the price point. The gun is accurate. It's got a pretty nice trigger. I like the side lever on it. I like the moderator. But the stock for me is kind of a deal breaker. For that price point, you know, I would have expected better. Especially the fact that this is the first model that they've come out with. You'd think they'd want to knock it out of the park and, you know, put something on here that's a little more durable. I did bring out the decibel meter. Now keep in mind this is not a scientific device, but it does give us a pretty good baseline as to what we can expect. A typical gun that I'd say is pretty loud is well over 100 decibels. This came in well under that, and I'd say this is on the medium level of sound. Now you can outfit this with a larger moderator if you want to do so, but I'd say in 25 caliber with the moderator provided, it's definitely quieting the gun down enough to be able to use it in most situations for hunting. So I did want to use this gun out in the field, shoulder it, carry it, and really see how it handled in a hunting situation. We did head out to one of my large permissions. We went after rabbits, and I had a lot of success with this gun. It did shoot pretty well. I do like the weight of it. The scope that I have on here is probably not ideal. I don't think it complements the gun as far as the weight. But if you put a pretty lightweight scope on this, it is a pretty enjoyable gun to shoulder and use out in the field. It's certainly easy enough to carry, and you know, I do like the side lever on it. It's pretty smooth. I felt like the grips were pretty comfortable, and I do like the ability to adjust the buttstock because I was using a night vision device, which you sometimes have to adjust the length of pull for your eye relief, and so I do like that. As far as the performance goes for hunting, I was pretty pleased with it. Keep in mind there's very few reviewers that are going to show you guys a 10-shot group. Most go 5 and they're going to cherry pick it. I'm by no means a professional shooter, but I'm showing you what the average Joe can probably achieve out of this gun at 100 yards. Now I think the limiting factor of this gun is the stock. I did not feel very stable, and I think if it had more of a solid base to mount a bipod to, I think the group definitely would have shrunk up. So this is definitely not the best group I've ever gotten at 100 yards, but it's not bad. I don't think it really reflects the best performance out of the gun, and I think partially due to the fact that the stability of it really isn't very good with a bipod. As I mentioned, it does have some issues with that stock. There is a lot of flexibility, and it really just does not feel very stable from the bench. And so I think if it had better stock on it and it was a bit more solid, I think this group would have definitely shrunk up. But the gun does show some very promising accuracy. So I really hope I was able to show you guys in good detail my experience out in the field using the MA2 Sniper. You know, there's a lot about this gun I do like. Obviously I do not like the stock, and I would have liked to have seen them do a little better with the placement of the regulator gauge. I don't necessarily like how it sticks out like this, but you know, I'm just showing you guys what I notice, and hopefully that'll let you guys make an informed decision of whether or not this gun is right for you. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you have any experience with these products, I'm curious to know. So I really appreciate Macavity Arms sending me this to be able to review for you guys. If you are interested, I will leave links in the description. I appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one. If you guys enjoy this content and you're willing to support us and you enjoy coffee as much as I do, I encourage you to visit our shop page. We have a newly designed labeled coffee from Mountain Sport Airguns called Headshot. It's really good coffee, and the proceeds to that go directly back into the channel. You can visit our shop page at mountainsportairguns.com, and it's a good way to support us.